After our very wet ride the day before, we took every chance to dry off our gear, as the next day we all had to find a way home through flooded and damaged roads. It's an emotional time. Kev's about to leave us. He can't get us lost anymore.
Glad to see the end of you.
Anyway, he's off south, we're off north, so there he goes. Alright, so we're about to leave Narrabri, and Big Kev's already gone. He's heading homeward now, back to the snowies. We're hopefully going to have a lovely, not raining day, and end up camping. Okay. We did face some challenges. All roads north and east were flooded and closed. Kev's preferred route to the south was the same. Michael and I hope to travel one of the few open routes eastward by heading southeast towards Tamworth, hopefully taking in the planned ride via Manila. I also had an old wrist injury come back, almost enough to make riding impossible. I stopped off at a local chemist to purchase a wrist brace. I'll pop into the chemist. Let's hope I don't kill any more cameras. I've killed 2 on this trip.
Really?
The first one I had on the back there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they're all getting a bit old, those ones. Strangely, this is the very oldest one. It's back when they built them right. So it's not as warm as I thought it would be. You can't quite make it out on the footage, but I could clearly see that this swamp harrier was carrying a mouse. This was a common sight on the trip, as central New South Wales had experienced a severe mouse plague just before the floods. Still can't really see the mountain. We stop at the Railway Hotel in Banba for a coffee and some local knowledge. We're reliably informed that the roads over to Manila are flooded and closed. Alright, so we're up to Plan B already. Rangari Road, which we were going to go across, is closed, as you can see, just at this lovely little pub in Banba, I think it's called. Yeah, just even the roads are closed in every direction. So we'll continue over in a different direction. We're going to be turning left here, so that was plan A, we're on plan B. But 24 letters to go. That's like encouraging shoplifting. Oh. Giving that guy a tow. So I'm technically lost now, I've never been here before, but it should be simple, famous last words. There's a sign, that's always handy. Turn left. There. We've got a 50% chance of being correct. is that guy's problem? Look behind you, just let him fucking go. You fucking dickhead. Don't wave, you're a fucking dickhead. Me. All the way through there, he was just getting closer and closer to you. Are they going to give you a little nudge? Okay, brief rest in Gunnedah. Right, quick stop in Gunnedah. Next stop Tamworth, I guess. So I'm nursing a wrist injury. It's getting so bad I almost can't ride. So just saying to Michael, I might abandon the camping plan for tonight because that's going to really put pressure on my wrist, setting everything up. And actually maybe just head for home. See how I feel by about Armadale. Just about to see Capital now. Yeah, and then in front of us is the Great Dividing Range. Up the mountains from now on. We arrived in Tamworth and immediately found ourselves at a virtual standstill. It turns out we weren't the only people who sussed that this was one of the few open routes across the big flooded rivers. We tried to get around the traffic, but ended up in another queue for the same bridge. Whoa! River's up a bit.
Oh, wow.
Wow. The floods that we managed to mostly avoid.
No, it's supposed to be a couple of blocks away. That's the whole park.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not supposed to be the river. 40 minutes after arriving in Tamworth for what should have been a 5-minute ride across town, we got out the other side and we stopped for some fuel. Okay, so we got some food in Tamworth. Well, not food, we got some nut food at a servo in Tamworth to keep us going after the traffic jam from hell, which seems to be because of the flood from hell. And now we're going to climb onto the Great Dividing Range for most of the rest of our trip. We go up a great big bloody hill called Moonbee Gap or something. Well, unfortunately I failed to record us riding up Moonbee Gap, but I captured this little tiny bit of us riding up to the lookout. Before the battery ran out on the camera altogether. Alright, so we made it to Moonbee Lookout just as my camera had run out. This whole thing was built during the war, I think as a morale booster for local people who needed work. A great big car park with some stone walls everywhere, and then he built the lookout on top of this giant rock. It's pretty cool. So we should go and check it out. Pretty spectacular, isn't it? Yeah. So we just got up on the Great Dividing Range. Beautiful. Alright, so that was Moonby Lookout, a lookout built on a giant rock. Pretty cool. God, that wind is savage. Let's see if there's somebody to get something to eat here, eh? Well, we stopped off at Uralla for something to eat and looked at the maps and the time, and we've been held up so much we're not going to get home in daylight. Like I said, my wrist is too sore to go camping and setting everything up. It's almost so bad I can't ride the bike, so we've opted for the Central Hotel in Glen Innes, just up the road, which was the first night where we stopped as a backup. So there's a whole bunch of camping stuff I brought there that I didn't use. Oh well. So we would stay again at the Great Central Hotel in Glen Innes, which I featured on day one of this trip. Apart from having to turn back and retrieve my sun hat, which blew out of my tank bag, the rest of the ride was fairly uneventful. The next episode will be the last one of this trip. I hope you're enjoying the series. Be safe, be happy.